Hello, dear soul. You are in the right place, right here, right now. You are safe, you are loved, and you are more than enough. Sometimes we carry the weight of the world in our thoughts. We try so hard to be better, do more, get it right. We push ourselves. We speak harshly to our own minds. We demand perfection, thinking that if we just try harder, we'll finally feel good. But the mind does not grow in pressure. It withers, it hides, it resists, and it becomes afraid. The truth is, the mind learns best from love, not from force. Love is not just a sweet feeling. Love is intelligent. Love is powerful. Love is the language that our deepest self understands. When you speak to your mind with kindness, it opens. When you are patient with your thoughts, they begin to cooperate. When you offer yourself gentle understanding, your whole being starts to heal. There's no need to control everything. There's no need to push yourself into exhaustion just to feel worthy. You are already worthy. You always have been. When you let go of the old habit of self-pressure, something magical happens. You discover a part of yourself that wants to grow, not because it's afraid, but because it's inspired. So take a deep breath with me and just feel your body relax. Let go of all the tension you've been holding. There's no need to fix yourself. You are not broken. You are learning. You are unfolding. Just as a flower does not bloom all at once, your mind doesn't need to be perfect to be beautiful. Think of the times you've been hard on yourself. Maybe it was when you forgot something, or when you made a mistake. What were the words you told yourself? Were they loving? Were they kind? Or did they echo old voices from long ago that demanded too much and gave too little warmth? Now imagine what would happen if in that moment someone placed a hand on your shoulder and said, "It's okay. You're doing your best. You're allowed to be human." That's the kind of voice your mind truly responds to. That's the voice that heals. And that voice can be your own. Let's keep going deeper. The mind is like a garden. It takes in everything: sunlight, water, soil, wind. It listens to the tone of your inner voice. If you shower your mind with criticism and urgency, it becomes tense, unsure, even frightened. But if you tend to it gently, like a beloved flower bed, it opens toward the light. We often believe that being strict and forceful will bring discipline or success, but this belief is rooted in fear, not love. And fear teaches nothing lasting. It may produce short-term results, but it leaves behind wounds. Wounds that whisper, "I am only good when I perform. I am only worthy when I achieve." These beliefs do not help us grow. They bind us in silence and shame. It's not your fault if you've learned to push yourself. Many have been taught that way. Maybe you were taught to believe that softness is weakness, or that being kind to yourself is lazy. But I'm here to gently remind you, softness is strength, kindness is clarity, and love is the greatest motivator of all. When you approach your own mind with love, you become your greatest teacher, a wise, calm, and compassionate guide who says, "You can learn this. You can try again. You don't have to be afraid." Your mind listens to that tone. It flourishes in that environment. It begins to trust that learning doesn't mean punishment. It means growth. Let's talk about where force often comes from. It rarely starts in the heart. It starts in fear. It starts in pressure. Somewhere along the way, someone may have told you that the only way to succeed was to strive without rest, that nothing you did was ever enough, that to be good, you had to be better, and better, and better still, so you tried. You pushed. You punished yourself when you fell short. You heard that voice, the one that says you should have known better, done better, been better. But that voice is not truth. That voice is learned. It is the echo of someone else's pain, passed on through generations. And now you have the beautiful opportunity to break that cycle, not with blame, but with love. Force might feel familiar, but that does not mean it's right. Just because something is common doesn't mean it is natural. The natural way of the mind is to open gently, like petals in the morning sun, not to be pulled open by force. Let's begin to unlearn the voice of the inner critic. You know the one. It rushes you, doubts you, compares you. It waits to point out your faults. But that voice is not who you are. It is only a visitor shaped by old stories. And now you are allowed to send that voice home, not with hate, but with compassion. It was trying to protect you once in its own misguided way. But now you are safe. You are wise enough to choose a new way. When you hear that voice telling you that you're not enough, you can pause. You can place a gentle hand over your heart and say, I choose love now. I am learning, and that is enough. I release the need to be perfect. I am already complete in who I am. You can speak to yourself this way anytime. It doesn't have to be loud. It only needs to be true. Your mind hears you. Your cells feel your words. Your heart begins to soften. That is healing. That is power. The most beautiful part is this: love is always available. It does not run out. It does not keep score. It simply waits for you to say yes. Every moment is a new opportunity to turn toward love, not just in relationships, but within yourself, toward your own mind, your own thoughts, your own journey. There is no finish line you need to reach before you are allowed to be kind to yourself. You don't have to get everything right before you can feel good about who you are. You are allowed to feel peace now. You are allowed to rest now. You are allowed to grow at your own pace. This is not weakness. This is wisdom. This is the wisdom of the soul. The soul knows that the soft path is not less effective. It is more lasting. It brings joy. It brings clarity. And most of all, it brings peace. Let this be the moment where you choose something new. Not a harder path, but a gentler one. One where love is your guide, not fear. One where your thoughts are seeds of kindness, not weapons of control. One where your inner world becomes a garden of possibility. Your mind is listening. It always has been. And now it is ready to bloom. Let love be the water. Let grace be the sunlight. Let your words be gentle rain. And watch what begins to grow. Because the mind learns best, not when it is pushed, but when it is loved. And you, dear one, are so very worthy of love, just as you are. Love is not just something we give to others. It is something we offer to our own minds every day through the words we choose, the thoughts we allow, and the patience we extend inward. When the mind is spoken to with love, it listens, it softens, it opens to truth, to possibility, to learning without fear. You may have noticed how things begin to shift when you speak kindly to yourself, not because you're pretending things are perfect, but because love makes space for change. Love says, I see you, I hear you, I will not abandon you, no matter how long it takes. This is the voice the mind trusts. This is the presence the soul remembers. Let's pause together now and let this moment become sacred, not for what we do, but for how we feel. We allow the nervous system to relax. We allow the mind to stop defending. There's nothing to prove, only truth to accept. The truth that love is safe. That love is the teacher we've always needed. When we are harsh, even in silence, the mind builds walls. It begins to protect itself from learning. But when love enters the room, when you let kindness flow through your thoughts, those walls start to dissolve. You don't have to try harder. You only need to allow. Allow your words to carry warmth. Allow your thoughts to hold tenderness. Let's try a few gentle words now, not loud, just sincere. It's okay to learn slowly. It's okay to need time. I love my mind for how it keeps trying. You see, even one sentence of loving thought can open a window in the soul. The air shifts. The energy lightens. There is no resistance where there is love. Love does not demand. Love invites. Love says, "Come as you are." And slowly, the parts of the mind that felt afraid to be seen begin to show themselves. They peek out, they listen, and they start to believe that maybe, just maybe, they don't have to hide anymore. Think of your inner voice like a lifelong companion. This companion walks beside you through every success, every setback, every quiet moment. What if that companion became the most loving friend you've ever known? What if your thoughts stopped blaming and began blessing? When you choose to speak to yourself with kindness, you begin to rebuild trust. And that trust becomes the foundation for transformation. Not because you forced it, but because you created a space where it could happen naturally. Let's bring in a practice that can make this real. Mirror work. Just a simple moment each day where you look into your own eyes and say, "I am learning to love you." Not because everything is perfect, not because all the answers are known, but because the willingness to love is already enough. In the mirror, you don't see perfection. You see presence. You see effort. You see someone showing up again and again. And that is something worth honoring. You might feel silly at first. That's okay. The mind isn't used to being spoken to with so much care. It might resist. It might doubt. But keep going. Say it anyway. Whisper it if you must. I love you. I am here for you. I am learning to be gentle with you. Every time you do this, you plant a seed. And just like any seed, it may take time to break the surface. But beneath the soil of your life, something beautiful is growing. A new relationship with yourself. One that will bloom when the time is right. You can also write loving thoughts in a journal. Not to be perfect, but to be honest. To begin replacing old patterns with new truths. Try writing, "Today I gave myself patience," or "Today I noticed I was kind to my mind." These small reflections create big shifts. There is a quiet power in choosing love, especially when the old habit was pressure. And each time you do, you send a signal deep into your body. It's safe now. We're okay. Our physical health is deeply connected to the way we think and feel. Thoughts are not just ideas in the head. They are messengers to every cell in the body. When we think harshly, the body tightens, the breath becomes shallow, the heart feels heavy. But when we think lovingly, something changes. The body softens, the breath deepens, the heartbeat slows, peace returns. Think of a moment when your body felt tense. Maybe the shoulders were tight, the jaw clenched, the chest heavy. In that moment, what thoughts were moving through the mind? Were they comforting or were they demanding? The body reacts to every mental note, every inner command. It listens, even when we aren't aware. This is why loving thoughts are not just emotional, they are physical medicine. They restore balance, they encourage healing, they bring the body back into alignment with peace. You may not see it with your eyes, but every kind thought you give yourself sends a signal of safety throughout your being. You are loved. You are safe. You are allowed to relax. And in this state, the body does what it knows how to do. It heals, not instantly, but naturally, in its own rhythm, in its own wisdom. So let us bring awareness now to our breath. Inhale gently. Let the breath be soft, not forced, just loving. And on the exhale, allow any tension to flow out of the body. This is the rhythm of self-love. It is not rushed. It is not harsh. It is simply kind. In this rhythm, we begin to realize force was never needed. The body never asked for it. The mind never grew from it. It was love all along. Love was the answer. Love was the way. Now gently return your attention to your thoughts. Notice how they move. Some might still carry old tension. That's all right. We don't fight them. We greet them. We say, thank you for trying to help me, but now I choose a gentler way. And in doing so, the inner world shifts. We move from fear to freedom, from pressure to presence. As you go through your day, remember, you are allowed to stop. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to choose peace, not because you earned it, but because you were always worthy of it. Let your thoughts be like sunlight on your skin, soft, warm, nurturing. Let your inner dialogue be filled with words that uplift. Let your mind learn from love again and again until it no longer doubts that love is its home. This is how healing happens, not through pressure, but through presence, through care, through the steady, loving voice that says, you are already enough. Let's walk this path together. And from that place, all things become possible. Perfection is never the goal. Peace is. Joy is. Living in alignment with love is. When we allow ourselves to release the grip of perfectionism, we create the space for something softer, more real, and far more powerful to take root in our lives. You were never meant to live under pressure. The constant push to do more, to be more, to prove yourself is not your truth. It's something learned, something inherited, but it is not your natural state. You are not a machine to be managed. You are a beautiful being, alive with purpose, worthy of love, not for what you do, but for who you are. When we hold ourselves to rigid expectations, always striving to meet impossible standards, the spirit grows weary, the joy fades, and life becomes a checklist, not a journey. But when we soften, when we say, it's okay if I don't have it all figured out, we begin to return to our true rhythm, a rhythm that is patient, a rhythm that is forgiving, a rhythm that honors the process. You are allowed to be exactly where you are, even if it feels messy. Growth doesn't need to look perfect. Learning doesn't need to be fast. Healing doesn't need to follow a schedule. Life blooms in its own time, and so do you. Let the idea of being enough settle into your heart, not as something to reach for, but as something that already exists within you. You are enough because you are, not because of your productivity, not because of your image, but because you are alive, aware, and willing to grow in love. The beauty is, love doesn't ask for perfection. It only asks for presence, to show up again and again with gentleness. And from that space, miracles happen. Not loud, dramatic miracles, but quiet, lasting ones. The the kind that take root in the heart and bloom with each kind word you give yourself. So let us step into a new flow, one of ease, one of grace. You don't have to push. You only need to allow rest, allow softness, allow yourself to breathe without guilt. This is the sacred rhythm of a life led by love, not force. Let's invite in small rituals that support this rhythm. Perhaps in the morning, you place your hand on your heart and say, "Today I offer myself grace." Or in the evening, you take a moment of silence to say, "I did my best with love, and that is enough." These are not just habits, they are acts of devotion to your own well-being. You can even start a gentle journal practice. At the end of each day, write down one way you were kind to yourself. Just one. Over time, this simple reflection becomes a powerful reminder you are changing, you are growing, and it's happening through love. You can create loving boundaries around your time, your energy, your peace. You can choose the words that enter your mind and speak only those that feel like truth. You can slow down. You can say no. You can say yes to what nourishes your spirit. There is no race. There is no right way to do this. There is only your way, and your way is sacred. When love is your guide, every step is the right one. Even the quiet ones, even the ones that look like stillness. You may not feel different right away. That's okay. Love is patient. The important thing is that you are willing to learn a new way, willing to replace the old voice of pressure with the new voice of peace. This willingness is your power. It's what opens the door to transformation. And once the door is open, the light comes in. That light is you. This journey is not about becoming someone else. It's about remembering who you've always been beneath the noise. A being made of love, learning in love, returning to love. Every time you choose gentleness over judgment, you reclaim a piece of yourself. Every time you say, "I don't need to force myself anymore," you take a step toward wholeness. And now you know the path. It isn't harsh. It isn't rushed. It doesn't leave you breathless. It leads you gently home. So as you move forward, hold this truth close. Your mind listens to how you speak to it. Your body feels every thought you feed it. And your spirit rises when you speak from love. You can let go of the old need to be hard on yourself. It's served its time. But love is your new teacher, and love never shouts. It doesn't push. It waits. It welcomes, and it stays. You are loved, you are supported, and you are enough just as you are. Let this be your affirmation now and always. I learn best through love. I grow in kindness. I trust the rhythm of my life, and I am safe to move forward gently. You don't need to do anything more today. Just let this truth settle in your heart. You are on your way, and that way is love.